What's going on, guys? This is my recap video covering the Bravo Company fall semester of 1 Shepherd in West Virginia. This video will highlight the Situational Training Exercise, or STX, which focused on instructing students on how to conduct a raid, establish a patrol base, and conducting area and point reconnaissance. The first period of instruction was over the raid, which was taught by Dr. Christopher Larsen, who is one of the founding members of 1 Shepherd, and who is an author of numerous books on light fighter infantry tactics.
How about I put a radical idea forward and say, a raid is an ambush is a raid. I know that's oversimplification, so let me put in a little tiny distinguishing variable. An ambush is a surprise attack on a moving or temporarily halted enemy force. An ambush is a surprise attack on a temporarily halted or moving enemy force. A raid is a surprise attack on a stationary enemy force. Now, I don't necessarily mean it's a facility. Certainly can be a facility. It can be a quote-unquote temporarily halted, like some asset that they position there, but it's on wheels. That's not uncommon at all. But it's still stationary. I think that's one distinguishing feature, is that in essence an ambush is set up before the enemy gets there and we wait for them to come through. Get it? But a raid, the enemy is there and we have to sneaky go to them.
So it's passive and active.
And you can see the vulnerabilities. There are vulnerabilities of the ambush. That was discussed in STX 5. But the fact is, at least when you come in and you can set up, you need to not be, what's called poison the kill zone, that is, be detected. But hey, at least we have some leeway to go, okay, you guys there, good. You guys there, good. Hey, security, I want you to push out a little farther. You can do this because the enemy isn't around yet. On the raid, you can't do that shit. They're there. They're already in the kill zone. They are the kill zone. Okay? So you don't have the leeway to do that, and it takes incredible stealth. It takes incredible stealth to pull off a raid.
Following the classroom portion of the instruction, the students were then assembled into a raid force and given a mission on conducting a daylight raid on an enemy location to recover enemy shoulder-fired man-portable rockets being stored in a wooden crate inside an old barn. After formulating their plan and conducting rehearsals, the students then stepped off from the FOB en route to an ORP. From the ORP, the raid made its way to a release point where the support element established a support by fire position and the assault element maneuvered into position. Once the raid began, the assault force made a critical error and funneled into the objective, causing several of their men to be killed, requiring some of the students from the support element to be called in to be utilized on the objective.
Moving. Set. Pushing up.
Here you see that the students are searching the objective looking for the enemy weapons cache, which was ultimately discovered inside a small barn-like structure.
Okay, here it is, here it is. Got it. Found it. Yeah, get inside. Breaching. All right. Hey, Derek, I want you here. Derek, come up. Derek, do you have any ammo? I got some. All right, you're breaching. Yeah. Ready? Now. Breach. Go. Yeah, clear. Yeah, got it. Right. Okay, bye. Do you have any ammo? I got an extra mag if anyone needs. Give it to him. Yeah? All right. Mag. Derek, you need a mag? Mag. All right, ready. You on me. You on me on the case. We gotta bring it back. All right? Safe? Yeah, cool. Let's go. All right, boys. Moving. Now, I think this tree line here on the right-hand side is safer. Yep. You can? Yep. All right. With the cat. You're security. All right, yo. The cat, I want you here on this shed. Come on back.
After retrieving the crate of simulated man-portable shoulder-fired rockets, Raid Force then made its way back to the ORP, and a debrief over the whole mission from the planning to the end of the exercise was conducted.
PL, real quick, you got 1 minute. 1 minute. And I don't want to hear about what happened. Forget that. Nothing happened. You didn't even see that. Over there on the fob, what was your mission?
Mission was to secure enemy weapon cache without going into detail of the kind.
What was your plan?
Plan was to come to ORP, lead this recon at a release point, bring the rest of the team up there, set them up, and kick it off.
Okay. Did you feel like the intel was fairly adequate? And after looking back now, did you feel like the intel was fairly adequate?
Yes, on the approaching route, enemy contact was not imminent. That was correct. Enemy strength, we don't know, which I can say accurate or not. Up until when it kicks off, everything was according to plan. Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool. Let me go with APL.
Yep.
Security team. First off, did anything he say confuse you? Was that a surprise to anyone?
Negative.
Okay. Everybody understood that was the mission. Excellent. Talk to me about movement and getting into position before a shot is fired. How do you guys think you did? What did you like? What didn't you like?
We were a little sloppy leaving our FOB coming out. A little bit of concern, not clear sectors of fire, that kind of a thing. I think we picked it up as we got a little bit closer. I feel like I'm glad we did wagon wheel. I think we had decent support around here.
The next period of instruction will be taught by me, and would cover establishing and operating out of a patrol base. Company Gunnery Sergeant, the Infantry Line Company, and then I got selected for First Sergeant, which you get the new MOS of $89.99. Fortunately for me, I was able to stay in my current reserve infantry unit, so right now I'm the company First Sergeant of the Infantry Line Company. All right, so I've literally my whole career in the Marine Corps, I've stayed in the grunts, which I absolutely love. As evidence as why I'm here, guys. I like being here. I like instructing. I feel that you guys, all right, whether you're current, former, or never even served, as Americans, unless you're paying,
I served in the Army.
for Americans or aspiring Americans, I firmly believe that every individual American should know, at least to a degree, how to do this stuff, all right? Because the world's a big place, and the U.S. military can't stop everybody. All right, as big as we are and as efficient as we are, we can't stop everybody. All right, it might just come down to fucking Red Dawn. All right, so that's why I'm here. That's why I like taking part of this. Okay, who has not participated in FTX here at One Shepherd yet? Okay, so a lot of you, right? 100% certainty. At some point, you will establish a patrol base, and you will operate out of a patrol base. Okay, so this is a very important class. I encourage you to take notes because you can't remember everything. All right, I will have to reference my notes because there's a lot of stuff that I'm gonna pass to you. Okay, I can't remember everything, and I'm not the fucking author of 6 books over tactics. Okay, so I can't stand up here on a stump and preach to you verbatim out of a freaking manual. Okay, so I will have to reference the manual to provide you guys with some of that information. All right. So starting off, what is the purpose of a patrol base? Definition I have out of my Scouting and Patrolling Marine Corps publication is provide a secure position when a patrol halts for an extended period of time in order to conduct follow-on patrols to support the mission. I've kind of laid out the battle space here. Obviously it's condensed, okay? So we got the FOB back here. We got our 3 fire teams which make up our squad. Over here is an objective that eventually we're going to do something with, probably a raid. Okay, let's just say we're going to conduct a raid on this objective later on. This is all enemy territory. All right, this is all enemy territory. So we step off from the FOB. We got Alpha Bravo and Charlie. We're moving to a location where we're going to establish our patrol base. Now all patrol bases are tentative until we confirm that they're good, suitable locations. What makes a suitable location?
Radio availability.
Radio what?
Contact with higher up.
Comms with higher, plus all those little factors I talked about, right? Concealment and everything else. Okay, but one of the most important ones, radio comm with higher. We have to have that. Okay, so PB is tentative until we know for a fact that everything is suitable and it's not in, you know, right on top of an enemy position. Okay, so we move to a location that's about 200, 400 in good visibility and 100 to 200 in poor visibility, what's poor visibility?
Nighttime.
Typically nighttime, right? So about 200, 400 meters from our tentative PB, we're going to come to a halt. We're going to form a 360, okay? Usually what that means is these guys are going to establish themselves that we have 360 security, okay? So we formed a 360 security, and the leader's recon is going to be conducted. So patrol leader is going to take his compass man. Why is he going to take his compass man?
So we can find the tentative PB.
Yeah, find it, make sure he's going in the right direction, right? He's going to take one member from each fire team. So he's going to pull one member from Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie to come with them. Following my period of instruction, the students would then be assembled into a patrol and would be tasked with establishing a patrol base in the vicinity of a grid that I gave them. Once the students stepped off, they moved to a location that was selected for their ORP. From the ORP, a leader's recon was conducted, in which a listening and observation post was established along the way, as well as a patrol base location being selected. Upon the leader's recon returning to the rest of the patrol, they would then bring the rest of the patrol into the new patrol base location. Upon completion of a SEALs halt, the students would then transition into priorities of work, which included establishing comms with one another, as well as clearing pathways, aka rat lines, inside the patrol base to reduce the noise made by members moving within the patrol base.
Yeah, we came in. Sorry, we came in straight that way.
Yeah.
Came down. I think we came further south than that.
Okay.
We're closer. I mean, that's the edge. You can see that the edge of the clearing comes back a little bit. Yeah. So, yeah, I think if anything, we're approximately right here.
Okay. In that case, we're 20 meters from the edge of...
During the course of this, their LPOP would observe a 3-man off-war patrol moving along a trail headed towards the location of their PB. The patrol leader subsequently ceased all work inside the patrol base, and the patrol would prepare for action with the enemy.
Do you still have eyes on the enemy patrol? Over.
That action would not come, however, as the off-war patrol passed right by thanks to early warning from the LPOP. Following this, index was called, and the students moved back to the fob for a thorough debrief over the exercise.
Patrol leader.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, what was the mission? The mission was to set up patrol base at the grid. I use the map for just to keep them.
The vicinity of, right?
Yeah, in the facility. And punch out the LPOP to keep an eye on the field on any possible route of approach, and punch out security patrol if necessary. We don't really have a time hack, so we keep doing that reinforced position until further notice.
Okay. So what ended up happening?
What ended up happening is we reached the recon.
Actually, hold on. Let me stop you real quick. Did anybody have anything different? Did they think we were doing anything different than what he just articulated?
Following the debrief and hot chow, the students would return to the patrol base location and would be dropped with a frago on conducting a night raid on an enemy resupply site that was reported to be in the area awaiting delivery of man pads by air. The raid force stepped off after briefing the mission in the patrol base, followed by conducting rehearsals. For this raid, it would be led by Dr. Larsen, who was acting as patrol leader. It would be located with the assault element. I would also get in on the fun and lead the support element at the support by fire. What you're seeing here is footage from LESS, aka Pegasus test on YouTube, from the op force perspective. At this point, you're actually looking at the raid force in position, waiting on support by fire to initiate suppressive fires. The support by fire position is just due east of the OP4's resupply point. Yes, the enemy sees the raid force, but understand that the OP4 during the STX is mostly cadre who knows what's going on, and they're also trying to evaluate the student's performance as well as play the role of an unsuspecting enemy. Once the firing begins from the support by fire, listen for the double beeps. Those double beeps are actually near misses on the mile system. Imagine, if you could, those near misses being actual rounds. This would almost certainly keep the heads down of anyone on this objective.
Fire! Reloading. The same way! The same way!
Left! Or to the right! They're also off to us, down to our 12 too. They're on the road. That was uncool of you to die. I'm dead already. I'm just.
I'm dead. That's me. That's me.
Hey, keep going! I'm dead just filming.
LOA, Ole, come on. Get the... You guys know, C4, C4, C4.
Demo team, go!
Demo team. guys aren't in charge. I'm no longer in charge. I'm dead. Take it, go. Escape right through them. Escape right through them.
After the notional C4 was placed on the objective, which was simulated by slapping the side of the van, the raid force egressed back to an ORP before index was called. Following the night raid, a thorough debrief was conducted inside the FOB.
We're going to do a bit of an AAR on the nighttime raid, from the whole thing. So here's the deal. Let me set it up before I even get into the plan. As your PL, I'll tell the plan, and then I'll actually have the Op 4 tell their plan, just to be clear. So here was the situation. The situation was you spent this afternoon learning how to do patrol bases. You went in, you set in a patrol base, secured that. And then after chow, you got a warning order, which is not unusual. Although you're deep in the enemy's rear and in your patrol base, and so so you got a warno for a raid, and that was because earlier in the day you saw what? You saw Cessna plane over there doing, flying low, looking down. What else did you see?
Foot patrol.
Foot patrol. HQ, intel at higher said, man, we know man pads, man portable anti-aircraft rockets are being sent in from the bad countries, a few countries away. I'm not going to say who they are. I will say that their initials are Iran. And so they were dropping them. But the Cessnas said, if you see foot patrols and that Cessna's working with them to mark drop zones, they come back late at night. There's an IR strobe, there's usually a vehicle involved with a small team, and the Cessna comes back somewhere between 2100 and 2200. Sure as shit, we got into our release point, that's getting a little deeper into it, and we heard the Cessna fly overhead, didn't we? We did. Right, and we saw a van with IR strobes, and so you put it all together, it was pretty good intel. So that was the situation surrounding why we were tasked to go do a raid. So, as PL, I'll take 1 minute real quick and just say, we realized real quick what we had to do was we had to, their drop zone was well chosen. It was, there was only one approach through a finger tree line, Crunchberry Forest. We couldn't get there. We had to take the risk and come from either the open north field or the open south field. Because we saw them position their vehicle on the south side, we figured they must have been protecting themselves from the north side, so we decided, let's use the south side. And then we made up a plan, pretty classic stuff. And then we rehearsed it a couple times, came down to our ORP, hit our release point. Who would in? Security was supposed to go in first, 2 teams of security, rear and to the left. Then support was supposed to go in, support went in. Assault was supposed to follow support and then pass through them and hook around, and then support would initiate fire. Assault would get in position, cross the objectives, do actions on the objectives, withdraw. How many whistle blows in total were there supposed to be in the plan? 4. How many flares were there supposed to be in the plan? 2. Did that plan surprise anybody? Anything about that plan surprise anybody? No. Well, the Op 4, sure.
Last period of instruction that would be taught during the STX was area and point reconnaissance. After the class, the students were then tasked with conducting a reconnaissance mission.
See them. Yay! Do all of what he's got to do, back out, and come back in, probably to the ORP, or to the RP at this point. So he comes back here. Okay, he got 4 vantage points. Basically north, south, east, west. This is called, look at that. It's a clover. This is the clover leaf method. And for area point, there are other methods, but frankly, I think it's the most solid. Okay? Now, MET-TC, which is mission, enemy, time, terrain, troops available, and civilians on the battlefield. MET-TC. Mission, enemy, time, terrain, troops available, and civilians on the battlefield. That's your mission. MET-TC is your mission-dependent variables. ACOCA are your terrain-dependent variables. It's how we assess terrain. Observation, cover and concealment, obstacles, key terrain, avenues of approach. He's way ahead of it. All right, we got a barn house. Big surprise. Okay, we're going to do this barn house. We are going to have you guys go down through this way. You're going to approach from a different way. So I want you to, PL, you and your APL work together, or where are you going to set your ORP? And then clock method, I want you to dispatch, unless you find a compelling reason not to, I am imagining that you're going to dispatch 2 fire teams, okay? And so you know the drill. Let's get a clover leaf with 2 fire teams forward, give as many people that experience as possible, but make sure you have enough back to secure the ORP. And that's it. I got basically a quarter after right now. You need to step off, and again, we'll just, let's see if I can lock on I'm not sure if can we lock on the van to ferry them down here, make it a little quicker? Okay.
Yeah, we can do a quick ferry run.
Okay,
that's possible.
we'll ferry you guys, figure out who's going super light and who's going medium, right? Okay, and we'll ferry you down there, and then you're down here on this little hook, and we'll just insert you from there, okay? But be ready to step off in 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yep, 30 minutes.
Flags represent everybody else, and the 6 guys for both recon team move together to the release point that the team leader and I discussed earlier. Exact detail, we don't have to go into that. We're out of time for that anyway. From their release point, 2 of you guys will stay behind. Each recon team leader will take 1 guy into their own recon point.
Following rehearsals, the patrol would then be loaded into a high-speed tactical armored personnel carrier, where they would then be driven and dropped off at their insertion point.
Watch that paracord.
Scoot in, scoot in.
Get close.
Keep your 1 mag handy. We're going live in route.
It's gonna milk.
Yep. Yep.
All right, Alpha.
Sit on the crate. You got the high seat.
Doors open.
Alpha, go! Go!
Watch your legs.
Charlie, move it!
Charlie, moving!
For this mission, I'd be part of the Op 4. Here you see us offloading some ammo crates out of the van, which would ultimately be covered in ammunition. This was to give the reconnaissance team something to locate and report on. As Op 4, we also conduct lax 2-man patrols in the area just to keep the students on edge and give them the possibility of being compromised. As with everything at One Shepherd, upon completion of the exercise, a thorough debrief was conducted.
And, from the air and stuff, so that was a good call by it.
Okay, and I'm going to beat that drum, man. I'm going to say, why do we plan if no plan goes as imagined? And the answer is so that once we start fragoing the living shit out of the plan, we know which parts are the same, because we didn't change it, and which parts have changed, right? And so we see that there were some pretty significant small fragos and then a huge frago. But you guys were still task organized, your mission hadn't changed, and so you moved from there. PL. Oh, there he is. In 1 minute, tell me the plan after you received the frago. Okay, you're in the field, I fragoed you, new objective, what was your plan?
The new objective is to get eyes on recon from 3 different positions on the new updated target, updated farmhouse.
Okay. Did you change your order of march? Did you change like specific assignments or tasks to the subordinate teams, or did that stay consistent?
Everything stays consistent.
Okay.
On guard! Fight!
That's it, guys. That completes my recap over the situational training exercise at Bravo Company, One Shepherd, fall semester in West Virginia. Stay tuned for part 2, which will feature the final culminating event at every one Shepherd semester, which is the field training exercise. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you're interested in Dr. Larsen's books, I'll have links to them in the description box below.
There you go.